RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
Where's my camera? There it is. Hello, everybody. My name is Tara Devlin. Thank you so much for hanging out and joining the show tonight. I figured we got to have a show because, what am I correct? I hate being right. It sucks to be right. What have I been saying forever? If you're an early adopter of this show, what have we been saying on the show? Republicans hate democracy. They hate America. And not only do they hate, they hate America because they're confused by America. They are confused about what this America thingy is supposed to be all about. And prove me wrong. I'm open to suggestion. That's the difference between a normal person and a right-winger. They're not capable of adopting or adapting to any new information or ideas, much less reality. And I'm done. I was done in 1972. But I'm done. I'm even more done today. I was done when I became aware of that I was an American living in a country with a bunch of, nearly half, they're not the majority, but a large portion of the country are a bunch of devolved racists. I mean, really, that's what it comes down to. They can't function in a free democratic society, especially one that is a nation of immigrants, a nation of laws, that has a diverse population. They like everything the same because they're cowards, which is why democracy, they requires maturity. And what have I said that I've explained this for years, because you need you as a human beings, we require a fundamental basic maturity to function in a democratic society. That's what is expected of you, which is why what we as a society, we have a vested interest in funding education, to educating the populace, educating children as they come up, so they understand that all of us as Americans, we share a common story, and we understand what it means to be, what a republic is, and how you protect it. So all of this stuff, it's basic human evolution 101, but they cannot evolve. They are incapable of it, which is why they cling to a tax cheating, draft dodging con man and his army of enablers, because they know better. You better believe, ladies and gentlemen, that Ted Cruz, he knows that the election wasn't stolen. He just doesn't care. They don't give a shit. It's about him. For him, it's about him. It's about his political ambitions. And he figures the normal people are a lost cause. He's not going to be able to tap into normal people to get them to vote for him, because they know him as the grifter he is. So he's got to go to the dupes. And there's an army of them, although they are in the minority. And because they're so stupid and easily led and devolved, they're rather, they're touchy about the fact that they're stupid. They know that they're stupid. So that's why they get so offended. They're triggered when they say, oh, elites, liberal elites in the colleges and all your big highfalutin education and fancy book learning and reading and flushing and wiping when you go to the toilet, all the fancy schmancy kinds of elite things that you do. They are incapable of catching up because they are intellectually devolved, and still, because they feel left out by society, by modernity, by those who aren't suckers, and they know in their hearts that they are inadequate, rather than just try to improve themselves. They become eager dupes of the easiest of all kinds of pseudo-intellectual pursuits, and that is the conspiracy theories, that the info wars. So no, they're not left out by society or modernity or intellectual pursuits. They're not left behind, quote unquote. They really have the fingers on the pulse of what's really going on. You see what I mean? So they, instead of actually having a true intellectual pursuit, they get sucked into pseudo bullshit, just more bullshit. And it's because it doesn't require anything of them intellectually. They don't have to grasp anything. They just have to open their filthy mouths like a baby bird begging for a mama to put a worm inside. That's it. They don't have to learn. When you go to school and you learn about different subjects, perhaps, that you might not have learned about on your own, and that's why it's important. Education is an important thing. I only knew this when I went and got an education myself. But before I had an education, when I was just a bratty teenager, well, I wasn't bratty, I was just smart mouth. I thought I knew it all by osmosis. And I remember going to school and just in my undergrad thinking, oh wow, I didn't even know what I didn't know, and learning about various subjects, and it opens up a whole new world. They can't do that. It's too much effort, which is why they're cowards too. That's the other thing. Anybody who's different. We had a whole show about this the other day. We were talking about the individual. But that's why they're such suckers. So instead of being saps on the wrong side of history, they're on the vanguard of freedom. For what? What are they freeing? This is bizarro world. And they're not. And the thing that that's so frightening, and exactly where, well, for example, Today I texted Mike Malloy and I was like, are you watching this shit? Can you believe this? And he wrote back, this was inevitable. We were always headed in this direction. It's true. As water will always seek its labyrinth. You cannot expect a different. Okay, what am I saying? You don't have to be a psychic to see the end of a story. All you have to do is look at the actions that are being taken today. Look at how you or anybody look at how the Republicans are spending their energy. And yeah, we were always headed in this direction. There was always going to be a standoff between true freedom and democracy, and an authoritarian, fake-ass Republican version of it. Because, like I've said for years, they don't have the ability to function in a democracy. And they're not being led by benevolent creatures. They're being led by greedy little grifters who only have themselves. They have a constituency of one. Well, now it's a constituency of two. Usually it's themselves. Whatever suits them. Now whatever suits Trump. But then that is a circle jerk of corruption, because what suits them suits Trump, right? So it's like a do-si-do of going to hell. And all day when I was watching the coup unfold, it started off gracefully, or not. Is that the word? It started off with a little bit of, okay, what was that? Did that happen? Did I just see that? Did they just? It's first it was Giuliani and Twitler inciting the easily led morons at the Capitol, telling them to that they're basically telling them, it's not even basically, what am I saying? Basically, telling them that that the election was stolen. The election was not stolen. No other election has been this litigated. Not even 2001 or 2000, the election of 2000. Over 60. See, this is what drives me fucking insane. So, did you see Twitler? I mean, well, doesn't matter. Ted Cruz today on the floor just challenging the vote, saying many people feel this election was stolen and they deserve answers. So let's now put it in perspective. We're in the middle of a pandemic. Over 350,000 Americans are dead. We're the COVID capital of Earth. We are now being hit with a even more contagious strain, 75% more contagious than it is. Hospitals are at zero capacity to be able to take any other future corpses into their care, and so they are rationing care, making decisions in the field, who's going to live and die. And these motherfuckers, no offense to motherfuckers, because I've known a few mothers that are kind of hot. So, but no offense to humanity. But all offense to the fascist right-wingers. But these sons of bitches, no offense to sons and bitches. Okay, whatever, you know what I'm saying. They want us to engage in yet another waste, all the money. We always hear about all the wasted money. That's your taxpayer money going to people who, haven't now figured out how to pull themselves up by their bootstraps and marry an heiress or something, or a con man. And it doesn't matter. Let's just spend more time and money in the middle of this pandemic that has the American people already on the ropes, and people who are already premature corpses, some of whom didn't deserve it. Now, every Trumpanzee, they deserve what they get, but not the rest of us who have to be dragged down with them. But this is what they want us to spend our time doing, jerking off the con man yet again, to come up with the same conclusion that over 60 courts have already come up with. If they had evidence, these fucking, and I'm not even gonna apologize for cursing tonight, these effing sons of bitch Republicans, these traitors, they if they had how many times, they don't have the evidence. There's no evidence. A feeling isn't a fact, you fucker. And if there were evidence, and now I've seen some of the stupid videos these traitors pass around on their circle jerk conspiracy holes. One of them, I mean, they're so stupid. There's a video of a guy counting votes. This is so that from far away they say some guy is counting votes. You don't know what the fuck he's counting. All you hear is the right-wing narrator saying, "Oh, look at now, this person is counting votes." You don't see if it's votes, if it's at an election facility. You don't know. There is no context to it. And then he takes a piece of paper and he crumples it up. And he says, "Oh, there he is throwing out a ballot." You don't know what the fuck was he was looking at. It could have been in the middle of these ballots, some filthy fascist Trumpanzee put a note in there and then stood back and took a video of the guy and put a note in there that said, "Go fuck your mother," or something, just to annoy the guy and get him to have a reaction, which is crumpling up the piece of paper and throwing it out. So this is what we're dealing with. Do you understand? No evidence. And if there was evidence, we would want to see it. Who the fuck goes and votes 2 times? Nobody. They are pulling it out of their asses. Nobody who is a so-called, let's say an undocumented, this is what they say, undocumented, well, they say illegals go and vote. If you are an undocumented American, you're staying far away from this fucking whole bullshit because you don't want to be deported. These people, are we done yet with them? Is Amy Klobuchar done with them yet? Have we finally reached the end where everybody can just agree with me? Because I've been saying this. How long have I been saying this? Enough is enough with them. That they're an irredeemable death cult. And the best thing we can do for our civilization, to have a functioning civilization that works for all, is not to go and find the few right-wingers who aren't completely corrupted. Because, in my opinion, they're all corrupted. They voted for him. If not twice, they voted for him once. They inflicted him on this country. We've endured numerous presidents that receive fewer votes, that have no business being anywhere in the halls of power. Their lies, their propaganda channels, their bullshit, their divisive tactics, they never stop. Their Massachusetts liberals and New York values and California liberals, Hollywood liberals, that comes from them. Divide and conquer this country. I got to the point, enough of this shit. Fuck them. They're the problem. So, once again, I am proven correct. They stormed the Capitol, but it's not just, see, this is the whole, the tragedy. And why it should not be taken lightly. And I really hope this is the end of the line for this greed-centered death cult. Everybody needs to wake up. Is this bottom? Have we hit bottom yet? DLC Democrats, have you hit bottom yet? Joe Biden, do I have to hear another event where Democrats are pining for Republican bipartisanship, like battered spouses? Have we had enough of these filthy fascist freaks? Because guess what? They haven't had enough, and they're gonna push and push. It's not over. They have already said it. Okay, I know I'm ranting a little, but that's the day. That's the mood, right? The other thing is, the reason I'm so aggravated, and I think is that an appropriate adjective? I'm beside myself with grief, with anger, with outrage, and I'm done. I was done before. I mean, I was done back before everybody was done, but I'm hoping enough. Are we done? This fucking guy, this whole party, they need to be impeached, not reached across the aisle and jerked off by giving them their policies right back at them. This is what we have. We've sown this outcome by enabling them so far. But, of course, you see what happened today. The reason I'm also even more outraged, and the good news is that when I was watching the corporate media, they noticed it too. So that matters. Because when the corporate media is outraged about something, then maybe something will get done because they clearly have a larger platform. But why why were, not only were these fuckers allowed to storm into the Capitol, but why were they allowed to walk around unfettered until, I mean, what about now? Are they still walking around without being tear gassed? Because all I know is that Black Lives Matter, it didn't take much for the dogs and the billy clubs and the tear gas to come out. In fact, it took nothing but an order to unleash the National Guard on peaceful protesters, including the foreign press, where they abused and attacked. And we can watch foreign. Here, I have this. This Australian cameraman was hit with a shield. The female reporter was attacked because, Trump wanted to take a picture where he, instead of jerking off himself, he was jerking himself off with a Bible. But here's how the foreign press reported it.
You're outside the White House where Donald Trump is about to speak. It's getting a bit tense.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. We've just had to run about a block as police moved in. We've been fired at with rubber bullets. My cameraman has been hit. We've also
rubber bullets? Where's the rubber bullets?
They're moving through again. This is exactly what it looks like. Exactly what it looks like. We're to stay safely.
Oh, look at this. Whoa. The Australian press in the studio, they're like, whoa, hey, whoa. She's screaming, media! And she gets hit with a shield, because we saw the footage from the other angle. And then the cameraman gets hit in the stomach with a shield for doing nothing. The cameraman was sitting there filming the peaceful protest being attacked. So what happened today? Here, let's continue with this.
Oh.
Amelia, can you hear us?
Amelia, are you okay? Or your cameraman?
Whoa.
Hello, Amelia.
What the fuck was that? I thought
The police just
this is
charged
America.
Amelia
It's supposed to be freedom and all.
And our 7 News cameraman there, and looks like a policeman just punched our cameraman.
Which is interesting because they're not discriminating between protesters and the media here. Amelia, can you hear us yet?
Amelia, are you there?
Guys, you heard us.
Are you okay?
Yes, I am.
And they have their hands up. All the protesters walking with their hands up.
They don't care. They're being indiscriminate at the moment. They chased us down that street, and as you see, they were firing these rubber bullets at everyone. There is tear gas, and now we are really surrounded by the police, and you really saw the way that they dealt with my cameraman, Tim. They're quite violent, and they do not care.
Violently. They did not care. Okay, here's what happened today at the Capitol with here's white privilege. White, right-wing white privilege. Get it! Get it! These fucking traitors. Look at this shit. That's your house. That's my house they're breaking into. In front of the world to embarrass this country even more than they already embarrass it. By killing the American people. By making this the COVID capital of Earth. By having a tax-cheating, draft-dodging con man as a so-called president despite receiving fewer votes. By allowing this, by doing whatever the fuck this stupid monkey says. Even though he doesn't know when to use Y-O-U-R and Y-O-U''re. Embarrassing us all over the globe from sun up to sundown and every hour in between. And that's what they want more of that, even though he lost. Because they can't seem to understand that Twitler, there was a lot of people at his rallies. Well, doesn't it seem like a lot when you're sure he's able to fill out a fucking stadium for morons, because if suckers are born every minute in this goddamn country, and they certainly found a home right in the Republican Party. Not only do they find a home, they get to grow and flourish as the freaks that they are. Never That's what it means to be a Republican. Never having to say you're sorry or ever having to evolve in any way. Never feeling uncomfortable about being a backwards ass embarrassment to modern civilization. Just be yourself. That's what it means to be an American to them. To not give a shit about anybody else but yourself. To not, if you were a patriot, though, you see, you know what patriots do? If they are backwards assholes, they go and maybe they evolve. They go learn something. They read a book. They don't just stick a stupid made in China U.S. Constitution, a pocket constitution in their pockets to excuse all their abhorrent, treasonous behavior when they have no idea what it means. What does it mean to live in a constitutionally limited democratic republic of 320 million diverse people who don't have the same pigment as you? What does it mean to live in a democracy that takes pride in the peaceful transfer of power, unlike the transfer of power that we see happening all over the globe, but now it's happening here because of them. And haven't I said it all along? They are unfit. They're unfit to hold leadership positions in a modern nation. If you want a shithole nation that is the COVID capital of Earth, where people don't give a crap if whether you live or die, they couldn't even be bothered to put on a mask to save their own grandmothers, much less yours. Because that's too much. They're not free. Being free in a right-wing incel world means never having to not only give a shit about anybody else but yourself, but you get to call people the N-word or the B-word and walk around Walmart with an M16, but you're not free enough to go and get health care, go to a doctor when you're sick, or maybe get a goddamn mental health care for your damage before inflicting it on the rest of society, because that's not freedom, you know? Freedom, these are suckers. They are ridden to the bank by the big moneyed interests who tickle their racist funny bones and tickle all of their stupidity. And they unleash them on this society, because the last thing the big moneyed interests want is a peaceful transfer of power. And the last thing they want is a unified majority of, especially a working class majority. And that is ultimately what it comes down to. They would rather burn this country to the ground than have us realizing, and as these idiots realizing, that they have more in common with the Black Lives Matter movement than they ever would with the dumb effing con man, fake successful businessman who played a successful businessman on reality TV. Oh my God, who laughs at these dupes? Even more than, I don't laugh at them. You see, I'm beyond laughing at them. I can't stand them. But what I want for them is to be able to get the help they need rather than inflict it on this country. But they don't have the courage. It's so much easier, especially when you're a white whiner he'll sit around. You know that they will sit around saying, what white privilege? I've seen these memes they send around of skeletons. Here's me waiting for my white privilege. That's because they're suckers. You see? They don't seem to get it. That, just because you're not a successful human being doesn't mean you don't have white privilege, asshole. They can't see that, though. Because if they recognize their privilege, that also takes away from it means that they have to somewhat admit how inadequate they truly are. And they really are. But here's the we know you're inadequate. And that's what they really fear about having a more perfect union of really putting e pluribus unum into action. They'd rather imagine themselves meeting Twitler for a beer and having him trickle on them, than them understanding that they're in it. We're all in this together. These fucking fuckers. But now, imagine, if you will, just like when we played the game, what if Barack Obama, that's another way you can test the white privilege. What if Obama said, yeah, I grab him by the pussy. They let me do it, yeah, because I'm famous. What do you think they do? What do you think they would do if Barack Obama had 5 kids by 3 different women and constantly traded up his trophy wives? What do you think if Barack Obama paid off porn stars in installments? What would they say? Oh, these fucking dumb fucks. Hold on a second. I see another asshole on my Facebook feed. Oh, God, help me. There are like 6 people listening. Oh, you're a stupid asshole. I really... They all have the same insult, too, you see? These are cowards. And not only worse than that, they're tedious cowards. You got 6 people listening. Well, I won't count you, Woody McKnight, because you're a waste of human DNA. Oh my God. Please go away. Hold on a second. I can't. Wait a second. And while I'm at it, I'm sorry. I didn't start the show by saying this is unapologetic liberal talk. I'm really up to my aura in anger. This is unapologetic liberal talk. We meet here. We have a set time on Saturday evenings from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern at the RDT Daily Facebook and YouTube channels, and we are rebroadcast starting Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern on Progressive Voices, anytime on the Progressive Voices app and SoundCloud and iTunes and Stitcher, and also on ROKFIN and Verdant Square Radio. And what else are we on? We're on FYI Nation and, oh God, where else? Also, one day at a time. I want to say, tonight's show, and I ask you guys to please become a patron at patreon.com/TaraDevil, so we can finally have a show at a set time, a daily show at a set time. So, but, what am I saying? Tonight's show, we did get a new patron. And tonight's show is brought to us by White Rabbit. Thank you, White Rabbit. Because of you taking that extra step to become a patron, we just got a little bit closer to our goal of having a daily show at a set time and advancing and spreading this unapologetic liberal message that we need to fix this country. And God damn it, do we have our work cut out for us? Wait a minute. Don't we? It gets overwhelming. Sometimes I say that I'm glad I have the show. I have to tell you, I thank you so much, because God knows I would be a lot worse off without you guys. I know that I would. I mean, it's hard enough, but without you guys, I would feel truly like this country is lost. What the fuck is going on here? Let me see. How come I can't fucking... Alright, whatever. I'll have to go back after the show. I'm trying to get rid of this douchebag. Woody McKnight. Because I don't have it. I don't have the... I'm done. I'm done with them. I think if any of them ever had an interesting thing to say, I would faint. You got like 6 people listening. Well, like I said, I won't count him. Because you gotta, in order to be counted as a person, you gotta be a person, so. But, all right, let's go back to today. This is, what's today's date? January 6th. A day that will live in infamy. And let's not forget, okay, what we're up against. This is a coup. And a couple weeks ago, I called, maybe a few shows ago, I called the show, I entitled it, A View to a Coup. Little did I know. How could I be so, I mean, I won't say naive, but you know what it is? I guess I was, just today watching them break into the Capitol, I cannot believe that, and now, of course, when I'm saying this, I'm like, of course, this is what happened. But I cannot believe that they were allowed to rampage through the Capitol. And it's infuriating. This is what gets me insane. It's not that they do it, but because this is, you know, a bird's got to fly and a fish has got to swim. And a Trumpanzee has got to be a traitor. They are. They're traitors. Mitch McConnell is a traitor. We've discussed this before. They're all traitors. Mitt Romney is a traitor. He voted for Trump twice. Oh, yeah. So how is he not a traitor? When you look back in history and you'll see the governments, the republics or the democracies that fell to autocrats, you don't go back and say, well, you know, he only voted for him because he liked his fiscal policies. Sure, they voted for he legally. You know, you don't look back at Neville, not Neville Chamberlain, at Hindenburg, and say, "Good going, Hindenburg, handing over power to Hitler," because it was better than sharing power with the communists. I mean, that's how they look at it. Because who needs a bunch of communists or labor unions getting in the way of business? So, Mitt Romney, now all of a sudden he's being, because every now and then he says the appropriate thing. He should have been saying it all along. We are in this boat because of Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney and all of them who enabled Trump. We shouldn't have even gotten here. The entire Republican Party is an irredeemable death cult. How many times do you get to put a tax cheating, draft dodging, dictator envying con man in your seat, in the seat of your standard bearer, and make that grifter a standard bearer that they know is a grifter? Because we only know the unclassified information. We don't get the classified briefings. You know they know he's a traitor. We all remember when, what's his name? Paul Ryan. And who was that other one? Paul Ryan laughed. Remember? Let's keep this in the family. They all laughed when they were discussing that they thought Twitler was being paid by Russia. Let's keep that in the family. Right? Who was the other one that was laughing? Because now Paul Ryan is coming out and condemning Twitler. Here, where is it? Hold on a second. There's a goddamn ad. Okay, here it is. Kevin McCarthy, that's who it was. Wait, hold on a second. Can you hear that? Is that coming through? On the... Because I don't see the little meter going up. Wait. I gotta wait. It's on a delay. Where is it? Here we go. This is that kind of day, I'm sure. Let me just make sure. Where's my loop back? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let me play. Let me see. Do you hear that? Just tell me on the chat. Don't even fucking tell me it's not working. But tell me, because I need to know. Hold on, guys. Beep bop boop bop boop. No wonder everybody doesn't like this show. Alright. Can't hear it. You can't hear it. How the fuck? You can't hear... Alright, let me figure this out. How do you not hear that? System audio. That sucks, because I have a lot of videos on this. So, of course, because right before the show, Ecamm had to be updated, so I'm sure something... Oh my god. System audio. Ecamm can't hear system... Can't hear the system audio. What the fuck? Beep bop 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 bop. Let me see what's going on. I don't know. I mean, the show is done like this. And it's annoying to me too. What the fuck? Let me try this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then do this. Nope. No audio. Why? Alright. Fuck it. I can't play any stupid clips now. Son of a bitch. That sucks. You see, everything works and then you go on air. Nothing changes. I didn't switch anything except right before I went on air. I opened my Ecamm and it said, Ecamm needs to be updated. So I updated it. And now all my fucking buttons don't work. And nothing's working. I guess I should be glad that you can hear me. You can hear me, right? I hope, because I was just screaming and yelling. Everyone else in the business has to take calls. Yeah. Yes, I take calls. You want to call? I got the phones open. People can call. Let's see. Put up the... I will. I'll put the damn thing up. Where is it? Call me now. All right.
Call me now for your free reading.
You heard that, though. How come we couldn't hear the system? Yes, you hear me. Guys, thank you for all your help. Yes, thank you. Because I'm so annoyed right now, though. All right, and let me get... This is what has to happen. We do it anyway. So, before I keep going, I want to say... Thank you, Jim, for your super chat. Thank you, Resin Rebel, for your super chat. Thank you, Slow Tree, for your super chat in euros. Very nice. Get me the hell out of here, Slow Tree. Thank you, Robin M, for your super chat. And thank you again, Resin Rebel, for your super chat. Beep, beep, bop, bop. Oh, I see what you're saying. Tara, we see you, and other shows need calls to survive. I get it. We don't always have to do calls. Who knows if the phone call will work, though, now. I did set the phone up because I thought maybe somebody might be so upset that they want to talk. You know what I mean? I'm just in my mind trying to think why does I wonder this. Let me try one thing, okay? And you can humor me because I need you guys as you're like my producers. Let's see. I'm going to try one thing. I'm going to... Okay, I have loopback. Loopback is like a thing that all of my audio goes into loopback and then it gets fed back out. I don't know. It's very confusing to me. Let's try adding... Instead of the system audio, let's add Google Chrome, which is playing... That's where I'm going to get the video from. And let's see if that works.
Basically takes...
No, I can't hear it, though. That's the problem. Okay. Son of a bitch. Okay. Weird. Very weird. Why I can't hear it? Okay, whatever. Who cares? See, this is why my life sucks. I go on all day, and days go by, and I say, today I'm going to do this, I'm going to fix this, and then I spend all day going, why is this doing that? And I set everything up, and then it doesn't work. And the whole day goes by.
And turns it to what is happening in the United States. He
you
begins
hear
by
that?
saying, I'll guarantee you that's what it is. The Russians hacked the DNC and got the op research that they had on Trump. And then McCarthy laughs. McCarthy then adds, there's two people I think Putin pays, Rohrabacher and Trump. There's then laughter by some of the lawmakers in the room, and then McCarthy adds, swear to God.
On closed
Ryan
captions.
then interjects.
Do you hear that? Did you hear that? Okay, we're getting back to the show in a minute. Did you hear that?
And says, quote, this isn't off the record.
Is
No
it
leaks.
echoed? It shouldn't echo. It shouldn't be set up like this. This is like, okay. Guys, you're great. Thank you for being my producers. Oh my God, Terry Taylor. You're so nice. You do a super chat at this moment of complete and utter failure. You make me blush. All right, the whole point is, the reason I was trying to play this is because they're traitors. Let's go back and remind ourselves.
Initially start off by discussing what they had heard from the Ukrainian Prime Minister, which is basically Russia's role meddling in European and Ukrainian politics. The day before this meeting with the Ukrainian Prime Minister, the news breaks, the Washington Post breaks it, that the DNC has been hacked by the Russians. So McCarthy basically takes the conversation and turns it to what is happening in the United States. He begins by saying, I'll guarantee you that's what it is. The Russians hacked the DNC and got the op research that they had on Trump. And then McCarthy
people
laughs.
are disgusting.
McCarthy then adds, there's
Funny.
two people I think Putin pays, Rohrabacher and Trump. There's then laughter by some of the lawmakers in the room, and then McCarthy adds, swear to God. Ryan then interjects
He's not
and
kidding.
says, quote, this isn't off the record. No leaks, all right? Ryan then adds, this is how we know we're a real family here. We first approached Ryan in McCarthy's offices
I was just
to tell them we
kidding.
were publishing this. And we told them what we were going to have Ryan and McCarthy saying. And their response was to say it never happened, that there was no conversation like this. They said that it was
Liar
untrue. They
bastards.
called it fiction. Later, we told them that we had a transcript of the conversation. And
Wow.
then they suggested that the transcript was false,
Right.
that it was
That's
maybe
it.
even made up.
That's what you
Certainly
do
inaccurate.
in fascism.
When we told them finally that we had listened to an audio recording of this conversation, they adjusted their statement.
Fucking
and what
bastards.
Ryan's office told us was that that McCarthy had delivered, in effect, an inappropriate joke, and that he was not intending to be serious.
He's a lot. He's just being paid by Putin.
Hi. Have you always wanted...
Hi, bye. Who is that, you ask? That was the Washington Post's Adam Entous, a E-N-T-O-U-S, and one of the writers at the Washington Post, one of the reporters, a journalist. You know, some people, one of the members of the only profession enshrined in the Constitution as being vital for democracy. So Republicans hate that profession, right? And I remember when this happened, the last 4 years have been such a lesson for future generations to unpack. Do you know how many theses and dissertations are going to be written about the end of the American Republic for the future? They're going to look back, but the complete end, whether it ends, is really up to us. Whether the last nail in the coffin finally puts us out of our misery is really up to us. The Nazis, they had a trial run for their coup. This Twitler is a trial run. That's why the Republican, I don't think he's going to get away with it, okay? But the right-wingers, this is why the Republicans, the Republican, I'll say Republican Party, okay? They have to be, they really need to be smashed and crushed unapologetically. There has to be prison time. It has to be smushed and never to the point. There has to be so eviscerated, the party. It has to be decimated to the point where nobody attempts another coup, because we saw what happened today. Somebody was killed, and I think it was a Trumpanzee who was killed in the Capitol, and I saw the footage when I was watching live. All of the sudden, as things started to escalate, all of a sudden, all the corporate media pundits were discussing what was happening, and then in front of the camera, this woman gets taken out on a gurney, and she don't look too good because she's covered in blood, and clearly, she had a major problem. And we learned later that she died. But if she's a Trumpanzee, whatever. I'm not going to shed any tears. But you get that if they're allowed to get away with this. Now, we saw the pictures all day, the pictures coming in from progressively more egregious and offensive. I can't believe how offended I felt and how outraged I felt watching these fuckers rampage through Congress, to stand in the well of the House, to sit in Nancy Pelosi's office with their feet up, going through her shit. That really outraged me. And it would outrage me if it wasn't Nancy Pelosi. It's not about Democrat and Republican at this point. It was about, are you an American or not? This is an outrage. It's an offense. Now, we know, imagine, we saw what happened when peaceful protesters with their hands up were met with tear gas, dogs, and being smashed in the stomach with shields for no fucking reason. Not even protesters. International press were attacked. What did they do in today? What did the Capitol Police do now? Watching these fuckers rampage through the halls of power? They took selfies with the scums. You hear?
ACAF, ACAF. ACAF, ACAF.
You hear that shit? You see that? Hey! They took selfies with the cops? And then, here's the Trumpanzees breaking into the Capitol. Get him! Wow. You fucking traitors. Okay, now they're breaking into the door. They're rampaging in through the door. Here's the footage. One cop, a whole bunch of Trumpanzees. Of course, it's one lone African-American cop with these white fuckers chasing him. I thought they were all about law and order. I thought blue lives mattered. What the? Now imagine, ladies and gentlemen, let's play the imagine game. If this were Black Lives Matter. What do you think would happen? I think there'd be a lot of dead people with darker pigment in the Capitol right now. They wouldn't have they wouldn't have been able to get this far. They wouldn't be hanging off the balcony or standing in the well or standing at the speaker's podium in our house, denigrating it, desecrating it, rampaging through the offices of our legally elected representatives. How dare they? And they don't get they don't get arrested for that? You can get arrested. I was in D.C. years ago. We were protesting the Iraq war. And look at this. So here's the cops. They go over to the fucking guy that just chased the cop down, and they say, "Get on your knees." Because I guess for a minute there, they were going to arrest him. Or at least that's what I heard. But what happens? Nothing. Nothing. There's a standoff. Does anybody get arrested? At the time we went on air, there was 15 people were arrested. 15. What happened when I was in D.C. with Mike Malloy? We were protesting, and Bob Kincaid, formerly known Bob, Robin Kincaid, we were protesting the Iraq war, and Mike got arrested. You know what? He got arrested for standing on the White House fence has there's a concrete lip, I suppose, and you can stand up on it, and then there's the fence. So a bunch of people, it was all planned. Okay, who's going to get arrested? Who's going to bail who out? So we had the plan. Mike was getting arrested, and we were going to bail him out, and I was going to do the video in between and videotape the event and post it up online. But you're talking about they had cops in riot gear. They bussed in cops. They had buses ready to take people away for standing on the concrete lip to the fence at the White House. That was the charge. They didn't get off the fence. Nobody was climbing the fence. They weren't climbing over the fence. They were just standing above the sidewalk, 1 foot above the sidewalk on the concrete lip to the fence. So that was an offense that could get your ass hauled off to jail, where you'd be tied up with a zip tie and read your rights. But busting through the window, sitting in Nancy Pelosi's chair, going through her shit, walking around, stealing crap. They were walking with shit, looting the Capitol, vandalizing the Capitol. God help us. I mean, if this were the Black Lives Matter movement, which would never happen. That's the difference. Somebody said, I saw a friend of mine was saying, oh, well, what if this were Joe Biden supporters? Joe Biden supporters wouldn't do this. This wouldn't be happening. Even if Twitler won, quote unquote, despite receiving fewer votes, this would not be happening. There might be a march like there was in 2016. There was a women's march, but there were permits and crap like that. What is this shit? This is an insurrection. And then the fuckers, they don't have any plans to stop the insurrection. So what do we do with them? Twitler went on his filthy, disgusting, opened his filthy, disgusting mouth. I hate him, all right? And I hate them all. But to tell because people are on the corporate media, they were like, won't Twitler please say something? Please stop. Tell your supporters to stand down. How about tell your supporters? This is what all patriots. Let's tell Twitler supporters to go fuck off to history's goddamn trash pile where you belong. And if you don't like living in a constitutionally limited democratic republic where we just beat your ass because you're vile and disgusting and have no business judging a goddamn wet t-shirt contest at the Jersey Shore, much less leading a modern nation. You don't have the right to lead a modern nation. You can't do it. Look at what you've done. So what? Yeah, I know that you can find plenty of morons in this country and all over the world for some reason. This is a perfect storm over here for morons. We know how to cultivate and create them here. We really do. Because you know why? I can explain that too. Because it's, yet again, greed and racism. Well, the racism is the weakness that the greedy fuckers exploit. But it ultimately comes down to greed and divide and conquer. They use racism because it's the knee jerk, it's easily activated, and they fall for it every time. And they'll never change. This is why you'll never hear a right winger, a so-called leader in the right-wing cult, tell their supporters to evolve. They will never show me a video or anything, a statement. Although they'll say we all condemn. Oh, like we condemn what happened to George Floyd after we stuck our finger in the air and we saw which way the wind was blowing. They don't condemn it because it is a human catastrophe and a crime against humanity. No, if they stuck their finger in the air and they saw that it would serve them better to not condemn it and praise the murder of George Floyd, that's what they would do. They don't care. Just like it's all a tactic to them. Does it make the rich richer? Does it make the working class, the more malleable working poor? Then that's their policy. Regardless, whether it's abhorrent, disgusting, whether it burns this country to the ground. Because either way, they get to be the kings and queens of the ashes. They can disappear behind the walls of their gated community and, like Jay Gould, boast that they can hire one half of the working class to kill the other half. This is what they do. Because they'll find eager and easily manipulated dupes every day. They're all there. And all you got to do is, it's so much easier to wave the flag, isn't it, than it is to actually comprehend what it means to be a patriot. What does it mean? I'll explain it to you, you freaks. Not you guys. I'm talking to the right-wingers who happen to stumble in here. and say something stupid like Woody McKnight or whatever. What does it mean to be a patriot? It means that we're in this together. That's what it means. It means that you grasp that in the thousands of years of Western civilization, that a constitutionally limited democratic republic when the founders overthrew the intergenerational monarchy and aristocracy that ruled Western civilization for thousands of years, that's a radical endeavor. They were radical progressives. And democracies don't come lightly. They don't come easily. You have to cultivate them, which is why you have to educate the people. You have to put democracy in their hearts and in their souls and in their heads. So we're in the perfect storm of stupidity and greed and racism because they have so manipulated what it means to be a patriot, and they have so confused the American dum-dums, not us, the dummies, the idiots who vote Republican, to think that they think they're free when they can not bake somebody a cake. You see? But they don't seem to grasp the ultimate, what it truly means. That doesn't mean you're free, asshole. Are you free to go and... Are you free to go to the doctor? Are you free to earn a living wage? Take a day off? Are you free to work in decent working conditions and then retire in security? Are you free to be sick? Are you free to be human? To have the human frailties, the ups and downs of life? Are you free to be who the fuck you are without some right-wing freak telling you, dragging you to some kind of, I don't know, to harassing you for being an individual? These people, sure, go worship an ancient book of fables. That's fine. But don't shove it down everybody else's throat. Then you're free. I'm free to be you and me, and we're free to be you and me, or whatever the fuck, however it goes. But ultimately, it also means that in a constitutionally limited democratic republic, a modern society that works for more than just the 1%, that we pay our taxes in a progressive rate, a progressive tax rate, and those taxes get distributed equitably and in a way that continues to cultivate the free democratic society. And that includes education and ensuring that we are making living wages. If you have a business here, there are the rules of the game that you pay living wages and decent working conditions, and that, yes, we're in this together, so we invest in each other. So there's no good schools and bad schools. There's only schools that are paid out, not from property taxes, but out of the general fund. Shit like that. But we're so up to our assholes in racist-ass policy, divisive policies, that these morons don't understand what this whole America thingy is all about. All they keep saying constantly, what I keep hearing from the morons and the rioters today, the mob today especially, they're saying, oh, we don't want this country to be socialist. We will not have a socialist country. What? And I will say again, guys, this is why I ask, please, if somebody says that, you hear this on the corporate media all the time, fucking explain. What are they talking about? What do you mean? We will not have a socialist country. Oh, so you don't want socialist security? You don't want socialist Medicare, socialist 8-hour work days, socialist regulated food, regulated water. What part of socialism don't you want? And that's another reason why we do the show here, because clearly they're not getting the word out on the corporate media. They just let them say this shit. Because all day on corporate media, I kept hearing them say, these protesters, well, then they started calling them mob, and rightfully, and that's what they should. But they still called them militia. They're not a militia. They're terrorists. So if they're not in the National Guard, they're not in a well-regulated militia, so they're terrorists. So let's get it straight. It matters. This kind of shit matters. It matters what we call them. So, but all day they kept saying they do not believe that Joe Biden won the election. They believe the election was stolen. Like, they believe in Santa Claus too, I suppose, and we're all supposed to go along with it. You can believe whatever you believe is incidental. There are facts and then there are beliefs. Your belief doesn't usurp the facts, but it takes a level of maturity to understand that. So all day they were all on the corporate media. They kept saying, and the protesters and then the mob were railing against socialism. They didn't want the country to turn socialist. Unfortunately, as much as the corporate media tonight were doing it correctly in a way, calling them seditious traitors, explaining that they were a mob, not a bunch of protesters, but they still, because they have common cause with the right-wingers, the corporate media mouthpieces and the billionaires who own the corporate media have common cause with their loathing for so-called socialism. They don't like, and all socialism is regulating capitalism. And nobody disagrees that capitalism doesn't have to be regulated. We played a whole clip of these the right-wingers on Morning Joe going, of course, does capitalism have to be regulated? Sure. Did it have to be regulated in the 30s? Sure. Did it have to be regulated in the 40s? Sure it did. Did it have to be regulated after the Gilded Age? Sure. It has to be regulated every generation, meaning it sucks. So why don't we just regulate it and go about our business? That's called socialism. Democratic socialism, where we do things together that we do them better together than we would doing them alone. Like going to the moon and shit like that. We do that better together, don't we? I'm fucking over it. But anyway, now, in order to get this country back from these motherfucking traitors, I'm not excusing my language. Fuck it. The right wingers, the Republican Party has to be destroyed. Okay? There's no coming back from this. Either we destroy them. That's it. It has to be destroyed. The ones who are somewhat normal, okay? They insist that they're not a complete lost cause. Like the Mitt Romneys, and please, he's a lost cause, but they insist he's not. Who's another one who's not, they insist isn't a lost cause? Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski. These are the ones that are supposedly reachable. Even though they vote for Twitler, they enable his kiss up, kick down policies. They go along with anti-democratic coups against legally elected presidents. Like, for example, when Mitch McConnell blocking Obama putting Merrick Garland onto the Supreme Court and shoving more unqualified judges onto the bench as their primary purpose. They all went along with this. So they're all an irredeemable death cult. But if you want to give them, okay, let them, let's say there are some of them that aren't a complete lost cause. Like all of a sudden, you know how John McCain, he's supposedly a great hero. Put them in another party. Make your own party. Make the whatever you want to call it. Call it the Reagan Party. I don't give a shit. But the way it is now, the Republican Party is a greed-centered, fascist, anti-democratic death cult. Period. Prove me wrong. Of course they are. I really wish, in my opinion, that we should. The whole two-party system is a shit show. What we should have, I wish, is a parliamentary system. Because then, at least, if you're a fascist freak who hates democracy, then you could be that. Have the frickin' balls to be that. Say, yeah, I hate democracy. But try to build a coalition. And if you can get 5% of the vote, then you'll have 5% of the parliament. But you won't be in charge of the whole goddamn country, despite receiving fewer votes. And that's the way it should be. This whole two-party system is part of the problem. All right, where are you guys? I lost you. God. Who's you were shadow banned, Eve? What happened? Republican Party needs to go now. Done. All of them are complicit. Like Romney said now. He said the truth is remedy. Romney. I mean, I don't want to hear this shit like all day. Not all day, but I was tweeting at Amy Klobuchar. I'm like, Amy Klobuchar, hey, Amy, are you coming to your senses yet? Have you gotten a clue yet to realize that they're not our friends? These Republicans are not our friends. Wait, hold on. But let me see what things are changing a mile a minute. But because before we went on air, even though this whole anti-democratic coup unfolded today, I don't know. I'm trying to think of another name for it. It is an anti-democratic coup, but it's also a white privilege riot. You know what I mean? White privilege on parade. Now, here, look, for example, Laura Ingraham. The other thing, okay, I know I'm all over the place. The thing that makes me want to vomit, and the reason why we don't want to let them get away with it, for example, Ted Cruz, all of these right-wingers, they're now, after inciting these sons of bitches, they're treasonous, low information, low IQ, easily led, small penis, incel, anti-democratic death cult, conspiracy theorists, morons, to put it mildly. They went on, and when they saw it's getting a little out of control with the hanging from the rafters, and I'm surprised. Don't worry, more will be revealed. Surprised they didn't urinate in the corners, but trust me, we will find out that they did that. And what do you think the right wingers would do if that were Black Lives Matter? If that were Black Lives Matter, we wouldn't have to clean up urine from the Capitol. We would be cleaning up blood, because there would be a massacre. They would murder the Black Lives Matter protesters. But that's what Black Lives Matter wouldn't do that. This is how we know the Republicans are an irredeemable death cult. All during these horrible 4 years that we've been sharing the same air with these monsters, what has the FBI said? The number one danger, the threat to the American people. What is the number one threat? It's right-wing terrorism. And what do the right-wingers have to say in response to that? They don't want to hear it. They say, even during Obama, this is why Obama, another thing, the Democrats have to stop. They just got to stop the bullshit, stop enabling them. When this came out during Obama, when Obama's Justice Department and the FBI studies revealed or concluded that the right-wing terrorists were the primary threat to the American people. And the right-wingers all pooped their diapers again. And what did they do? What did Obama do? He dropped it. Right? Just like they did with Shirley Sherrod when that fucking propagandist created a piece of propaganda against Shirley Sherrod, manipulating what she said in a speech. She said that she came to the realization during her work with people that the real battle wasn't a racial, it wasn't black against white, it was rich against poor. Hello, guys. That is it in a nutshell. Which is why the right-wingers can't let that out. That's the cat out of the bag. You can't tell the people that it's a kiss-up, kick-down game that's being played on them. Tell them their problems aren't because the rich are getting richer and the working class are the more malleable working poor, and that if you're born in the United States, you're more apt to stay poor. If you're born poor in the United States, you are more likely to stay poor than in any other Western democracy. They don't want that game getting out. They want you to think that it's not that the rich who own government and keep us divided. They want us to think that the problems are because of somebody who's brown, somebody who has darker pigment, or taking advantage. Some welfare queen is getting $16 extra in her food stamps. See how the game is played? But so Ted Cruz and all the right wingers, they have to come out. They're saying, what was I bringing up? Oh, I was talking about the Shirley Sherrod, but yeah, that's what they said. So they selectively edited Shirley Sherrod, and before the ink was even dry on the fucking Twitter feed, on James O'Keefe's, that scumbag propagandist felon's Twitter feed, Barack Obama, they had fired Shirley Sherrod already. They didn't even get to the bottom of it, of whether she was what she said, whether it was a hit piece, and that was in Obama's first 90 days. I remember he was so eager to please these filthy fascists. And then another thing he did, which I initially applauded, what did he do with Helen Thomas? Remember Helen Thomas, the kick-ass journalist she sat in the front row center seat in the White House press corps. It was an honorific seat. And Helen Thomas passed away during the Obama years. Let me see. Passed away. And then fucking Fox News moved into the front row center seat. So what happened? So Obama, if I'm trying to remember the whole story. Obama initially, here's what happened. Obama initially told the Fox News propagandist to sit in the back. He wasn't going to call on them because they were propagandists. And at the time, I remember thinking, good. He's fighting. Good. Showing some goddamn spine. And telling the truth. He said Fox News isn't a legitimate news channel. It's a channel dedicated to just telling lies about my administration and keeping people divided. He's 100% correct. But what happened? Then the rest of the crack White House press corps they all took the side of Fox News because they were like, oh, slippery slope. First they came for Fox News. If you're news, you're fucking news. Why are you how dare you call yourself news when studies show that people who watch Fox News are less informed than people who watch no news at all? Meaning you could learn more overhearing the truth in an elevator than you will watching Fox News, since you will be you won't know shit, you'll be misinformed. You will know less than truth, you will know bullshit. And what happened? So all of the crack White House press corps rallied around the propagandists, and they were like, you will not treat them badly. Well, how'd that work out, everybody? Instead of the crack White House press corps saying, yeah, you know what? In order to sit in Helen Thomas's honorific front row center seat in this crack White House prestigious press room, you got to be at least somewhat the press, telling the truth, not a propaganda channel. So what was that other one? That gay, who is that guy? The gay, the former gay escort. Remember that right-wing journalist, I'll say. I'll see if I'll remember his name. With this, oh yes, Jeff Gannon with the fake, he had another fake website, Talon News. And all of a sudden, all of these fake-ass right-wing fake websites were popping up and getting spots in the room. Anyway, whatever. You see what I'm saying? You don't, my point is, ultimately, you don't give these people an inch. Because they'll take the whole fucking democracy and bash it over the head behind a dumpster. Thank you, Stephen Lee, for your super chat. Oh, look at this. I didn't know. Newsmax claims that, well, speaking of fake news, right? Newsmax claims fake media is editing video of today, making it look more dangerous than it was. Wow. Copy, cut, paste, and scam. Well, Laura Ingraham and Ted Cruz, this is how they are an irredeemable death cult. All of them. The Republicans, every single one of them. So then now they're going on their various Twitter feeds and propaganda outlets to decry the terrorists, although they're calling them protesters, who attempted a coup on the orders of their dim Fuhrer. But they cannot help themselves. For example, Laura Ingraham. She's... yeah, where is it? God damn this. God damn my screen. Laura Ingraham. We need... here's a tweet. We need the same media condemnation back in May when historic buildings were being burned, attacked, and bricks thrown by BLM and Antifa. What the fuck? They cannot help themselves with this false left-right equivalency. BLM, Antifa, what historic building is this? I don't know. I don't recognize it. Am I wrong? But we don't know the full story here. They show random clips of people standing on a building, spray painting it. Okay. Is that a historic building? I don't think that's a historic building. But I might be wrong. Either way, did they stop the peaceful transfer of power in the constitutionally limited democratic republic? Are they activated by complete and utter bullshit that didn't occur? Or are they motivated by the fact that the police are killing unarmed black people? I don't know. Is that a delusion, or right? Or is it something that should be addressed in this racist ass country? Now, on one hand, we have protesters of all pigments standing up and fighting back and standing up for justice, being completely sickened by the abuse of power of when cops this is something. Republicans, they hate America, they hate democracy. They don't get, they're too stupid to understand that when cops, they're not the judge, jury, and executioners. We have one of the hallmarks of being a free country, a constitutionally limited democratic republic, a free nation of laws. Law and order. Law and order is that if you are accused of a crime and you get arrested, that you don't end up dead on the way to your court date. Because the cops they're not the judge, jury, and executioner. They're not the mobile execution squad. So if you're selling Lucy cigarettes on the street, it's not a capital offense. It is the cop's job to take you to your day in court. That's it. Because we are a free country, a democratic country. And that's what it means. One of the hallmarks of a repressed regime is that there are no laws. It's the laws, whatever the fucking dim Fuhrer says it is. And you could be picked up and taken for a ride, never make it to court. You'll be dead. There'll be street justice. That's not freedom. So if anybody can be murdered on the street by a cop, that means we're all in danger of being murdered on the street by a cop. So that's why cops, they're supposed to protect and serve, and they work for us, and they're part of the whole legal system. So them going from protecting and serving to the mobile execution squad is really a bridge too far if we want a functioning society. But these right-wingers don't seem to understand, only because, now that I'm saying this, I'm saying to myself, of course, because of white privilege, of course. See, you don't, if you're white and you're a Republican, when a cop pulls you over, you don't automatically fear that you're going to be made prematurely dead. And being a right-winger, you get to do things like, you not only get to sell Lucy cigarettes on the street, you get to do whatever the fuck you want, including storm the Capitol and hang from the rafters and take a shit in Nancy Pelosi's desk. And nothing seems to happen to you. You can threaten armed Capitol Police. They could tell you to get on your knees or whatever the hell, and you don't comply while screaming, America! Because you're a white, privileged little prick. But that's why you like when the cops make black people prematurely dead, because your main problem is you're a filthy racist. You see what I'm saying? And into this disparity, into this unfree, this repressive regime, this divide and conquer goddamn game that the right-wingers always fall for, steps the autocrat and ultimately the paymasters who don't give a shit. just like in Hitler's regime. Hitler found many, many co-conspirators. It didn't matter how many families disappeared in the middle of the night. That was better for business. It really was. Slave labor is great for business. Especially, it's really great for business when you get rid of a few uppity Jews. And then you could take their jobs. You could take their businesses. So, it's the whole game. They couldn't do it. The rich and the elites who ultimately don't give a shit about democracy. In fact, they are the antagonists to democracy. That's why they spend all their money, all their lobbying money, ensuring that they can buy politicians. And they'll continue to buy politicians like Ted Cruz, like Josh Hawley, because they love a Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley who keeps the dum-dums fucking totally distracted. And this place burning to the ground. Because, hey, that's great. If the dummies are burning each other to the ground, they're not pointing their fingers at the rich. And into the chaos could step a strongman autocrat who'll make everybody, it's just better for business. So when they're crying about freedom, they don't have an idea. They don't have a clue what it really means. They are the agents of autocracy, just like they were in the Weimar Republic and every other republic that went to hell, that turned into a repressive autocracy. They always found willing co-conspirators in the right wing. In every country. In Poland, when the Nazis invaded Poland, they found traitors. Just like if right here, we're under invasion by an autocrat, an anti-democratic autocrat, who hates this country, who is not going quietly, and who is he finding in his corner? All of the right-wingers. Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley, Laura Ingraham. They never miss an opportunity to confuse the idiots. Now, the idiots, you understand, they don't understand history, much less reality. That's why they have their nose is constantly stuck in the QAnon website. And InfoWars, all of these grifters, they really are the eager dupes of grifters who play them like fiddles, who tickle their racist funny bones and just set them off like little wind-up fascists. So, Laura Ingraham, they don't miss an opportunity to say, Antifa, Black Lives Matter. So somewhere along the line, you don't get the real picture. There is no fucking Antifa. I will say it again. Antifa is not an organization. I've been asking these morons, whenever they say Antifa, Antifa, where's Antifa? As a patriotic American, I'm Antifa. So I want to send my dues to Antifa. I want to get a card that says I'm Antifa. Like a patriot. All Americans, all true Americans are anti-fascist. But Antifa is not a thing. It's not a place. There's no leader. There's no building. There's no place to send your dues. It's not an organization. So, but they don't want the idiots. They need to play the false left-right game. Antifa. That's why they say, when they say to Trump, the FBI has said over and over again for years that the number one danger to the American people is right-wing terrorism. And they say, oh, well, I don't know about that, but I know Antifa, Antifa, Antifa. Well, if you know Antifa, 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 why don't somebody tell me? Because I want to know where to send my dues. Where do I send my my fan letters? Where do I find my marching orders? Where's the building? Where's the organization? Who's the leader? You see? So, even on a day like today, when these fucking scums, these riotous pricks, anti-American, anti-democratic pricks, are storming the Capitol to cry about an election that they have been told is stolen, when these fucking people, including Laura Ingraham and Ted Cruz and the rest of them, all know is not stolen. If it was stolen, what the hell? They have to say what a conspiracy this is. Over 60 court cases in all different states and jurisdictions said, get the fuck out of here. Stop wasting our time. We have a pandemic, you dumb bitches. Let's engage in one of our points of pride here in the American experience, the peaceful transfer of power, and let's get this goddamn pandemic under control in spite of you fucking right-wing freaks. No, they can't do that. They got to say Antifa, Antifa, Antifa. And BLM, BLM, BLM. Now, tell me, where's BLM? All I see is BLM being hit with tear gas and shields and being sick, dogs being sicked on them. And then we see all of the examples of right-wingers pretending to be BLM, shooting into police stations and breaking windows and engaging in terrorist tactics. It's the right-wingers are the terrorists. And the point is, if the right-wingers, if the Laura Ingrahams of the world and the filthy fascists, the propagandists, the Ted Cruzes, all of them, the Lindsey Grahams, I don't care. I don't care who they are. Right now, Lindsey Graham, I prayed Joe Biden would lose. He won. He's the legitimate president of the United States. How big of you, prick? You're just as wrong. They're all wrong. They're wrong. Not that Joe Biden didn't win. Of course he won. But we're gonna pat Lindsey Graham on the back for stating the obvious now? This is what gets accolades for these right-wingers now? Now they get to be heroes for simply stating the fucking truth? That they lost an election and they won't get to squat in the White House this time despite receiving fewer votes? This time? Oh, they got to do it last time despite receiving fewer votes. So what makes this time different? Because this time we've had enough. So, this is what Republicans do. And in spite of the fact of what they did today, Ted Cruz promised, or earlier in the day, I don't know how it's developed now, but he promised he was going to continue with his anti-democratic coup, with his lie. He's a liar. He knows that there was no stolen election. The election wasn't stolen, you fucking freaks. Not you guys. I'm talking to the right-wingers. Release from Ted Cruz. Texas Democrats call on Ted Cruz to resign from the Senate Justice Department to investigate Cruz for inciting treason. This is from, that's Texas Democrats. Good. Ted Cruz, in spite of everything, he said he's still gonna stoke this bullshit. So, of course, being a Republican means never having to admit wrong or say you're sorry or whatever, or admit defeat, clearly. So earlier in the day, Beto O'Rourke tweeted, "It is your self-serving attempt at sedition that has helped to inspire these terrorists and their attempted coup." And Ted Cruz got all butthurt about it. Stop. This can listen to this, guys. Can you believe this bullshit? Okay, hold on to your head because it might explode. Stop stoking division. This is what he says. Ted Cruz. Stop stoking division to Beto O'Rourke for telling him that, for Beto O'Rourke telling Ted Cruz that his attempt, like his whole fucking game to jerk off the Trumpanzee traitors by inciting their conspiracies against this free and fair election that Joe Biden won. For telling these fucking morons, these easily led, armed, violent, stupid, racist morons that Joe Biden is stealing an election from their dumb Führer, their less vote getting into, he didn't win. Their less vote getting traitorous con man, telling them that they're being robbed, that Beto O'Rourke pointing out Ted Cruz's attempt to overthrow a free and fair election as sedition and inspiring terrorists, that when he's pointing it out, he's stoking division. You see how that works? This is why there's no hope for Republicans. You get it? We have tried. We continue to try. They are irredeemable. There's only one thing left to do with them. There must be justice. And I'm not saying violence. They need to go to jail. They need to be impeached. They need to, all of them, all of the assholes who roamed the Capitol today, and the fucking cops who took pictures with them and opened the doors for them. There's video of this, too, where cops removing barricades, letting these anti-American apes roam the Capitol. All it does is incite other anti-American apes. And I don't want to offend apes, because apes wouldn't behave like this. And they certainly wouldn't be traitors to their own kind. But when you point out that Ted Cruz is leading a seditious coup, an anti-democratic coup, that, you're stoking division by doing this. Stop stoking division. Stop spreading hatred, he writes. Stop using malicious rhetoric, such as false and reckless charges of sedition. Are you fucking kidding me? Stop showing contempt for the half of the country that disagrees with you. This isn't about a disagreement. You don't have to agree that you like the result of the election. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it didn't happen. You freaks. Violence is wrong. We can do better. We are one nation. E pluribus unum. How dare you? These Republicans, none of them. Yes, none of them are redeemable. Yesterday, on corporate media, they were saying, Trump is saying how, I don't know, what a difference a day makes, because they were saying how, well, should Trump be taken up on, the other day we played, what's his name? I can't even remember his name, and he was the vice presidential candidate. You know who I'm talking about. He read Yeats, or he recited Yeats. Why can't I fucking think of his name? Oh my God, Tim Kaine. And so yesterday or the day before, Tim Kaine was reciting Yeats and pontificating about the Republicans, how they've replace their enmity with love. Wait.
And Sunny, I've been keeping up with Sunny a lot. We've been texting all the time. She helped
tell video.
You about Mitch McConnell's power or lack thereof that this is happening. I mean, he's been pretty straightforward in saying this is a really bad idea. This is the most important vote I'm going to take in my career. It's a choice of conscience. He's saying don't do this. And yet
President Trump and his tweet factory and the response of Trump voters than they are about Mitch McConnell. There's a great line of poetry of W.B. Yeats, and it goes like this. We'd fed the heart on fantasy, the heart grown brutal with the fair, more substance in our enmity than in our love. Basically, they have fed their...
Okay, and then... say that. And then the former U.S. attorney said that Trump knowingly saying that the only way we could bring Trump up on charges of sowing sedition is if he knowingly if he didn't really believe that the election was stolen or something like that.
Charitably just mistaken, but more likely deluded.
Right.
False. So if the president is deluded, or maybe most charitably just mistaken, but more likely deluded, you're going to have a hard time showing that it was knowingly false. That said, I don't know that you don't have a federal crime. You certainly have evidence of a federal crime. The phone call is evidence. You could predicate an investigation on it. You could talk to other people with whom the president spoke. You could talk to other people on the phone call. You know, now that we know he tried this 18 times, there's a lot of people you might want to talk to.
So, but he was ultimately his assessment was, well, you know, he may, when he was trying to steal the votes from in Georgia or get the Secretary of State to find him his missing votes. You know, come on, guys, just do me a favor, give me a break, guys. I only need 13,080 votes. Come on, that's nothing. You could do me a favor. You're a Republican. You should want to undermine a free and fair election, right? Give me a break. So yesterday they were like, I don't know. I don't know if we should bring him up on charges. I wonder, guys, if this was any one of us, would we be able to get away with such a crime spree for our entire life? I mean, Twitler... 70, how many years? 4 years? 74 years of being a useless waste of human DNA criminal? Sowing hatred and division, scams, suckering people, not paying taxes, lying, cheating, and failing up. But today, what do we do today? Have we finally turned the corner? Is it enough? How much is enough? You get that this didn't have to happen. All along the way, there were crimes that Twitler committed. We know that. We impeached him once, but we couldn't even find any decent Republicans to vote for it. And they knew what he was. They knew that he's a traitor, what he did. And you know that if that was Barack Obama, if Barack Obama used taxpayer money to try to strong-arm a foreign leader into announcing an investigation on a political rival, you know these right-wingers, Ted Cruz and the rest of them. You think Mitt Romney would split the baby and say, well, I'm going to vote for the article abuse of power, but not for the ultimate impeachment. How much longer? Is enough already? Oh, yeah, he's going to be gone in 2 weeks, of course. But how about we start giving the party of personal responsibility some consequences so they can take responsibility for what they're doing? The election isn't stolen. It was never stolen. And even tonight, so for example, with this Ted Cruz tweet, not just sowing hatred. He's like, stop stoking division. Please Stop sowing hatred. Stop spreading hatred. And he tweeted earlier, those storming the Capitol need to stop now. The Constitution protects peaceful protest, but violence from the left or the right is always wrong. They could never fully take responsibility for themselves, can they? They always have to throw in a distractor. Say it's not the right-wingers, it's lefties do it too. Show me a video of left-wingers storming the Capitol. Show me a video like that. Now, here's the other thing. Show me a video of left-wingers not abiding by an election. We have video of Maxine Waters standing up in 2000 and saying this is an illegitimate election. Of course it was. That's because it was. But even then, we went along, even though the goddamn traitor who received fewer votes was installed by the Supreme Court. But we went along with it. And this is where it got us. We were heading in this direction by allowing them to constantly get away with it and get away with it and get away with it. All of their crimes. And because of the fire hose of crimes that we've had to endure the past 4 years, even that tape that we played in the beginning of the show, or earlier in the show, of Paul Ryan and Kevin McCarthy saying, don't let it leave this room. I think he's being paid by Russia. Well, this is a family meeting, isn't it? And then lying about it until, well, it's fake news. Well, we have a transcript of it. Well, fake news. First, it didn't exist. It didn't happen. Then it's fake news. Then it was... we were just joking. Oh, we have a tape. Well, we were laughing. It was just a big laugh. That's what we do. We're rather comical when we discuss our standard bearer is a paid puppet of an anti-democratic foreign dictator. We really, it's not even an inside joke. It's just a joke on us. Republicans, we have such a great sense of humor. Did you hear the one about the traitor? A Republican, a traitor, and Putin walk into a bar. One of them says, who's going to bend over first? And the other two say, me. I'm working it out. It's still a work in progress. All right, let's see why Sarah Palin is trending. I can't help it. Holy shit. Sarah Palin, Laura Ingraham, Sean Hannity, and the right-wing machine is getting busy claiming rioters were... Get ready. This is perfect timing. We were just talking about them. The false left-right parody. Get ready that the rioters were... Antifa in disguise. Now they caught us. Holy Christ. Yeah, that's Antifa in disguise. Let's look at some of the pictures from today. Let's see. Let us see. Let us pray. Let me see photos inside the Capitol. Here we go. Look, that's all Antifa. Look at that Antifa there. The children cry out for justice. Look at them sitting in the Capitol. Unbelievable with these fucking... This really is infuriating. Look, giving the finger to the cops. I thought blue lives mattered. But only when they don't matter when they're protecting democracy. Supposedly. Well, and not even doing a very good job at it. Breaking windows. Oh, look. A mob of Trump supporters enters the Capitol. Oh, isn't that wonderful? Look at the freedom. I'm trying to make the damn picture bigger. Freedom! How do you feel? Do you feel free? Are we free yet? God. Wait a minute. God help us. We have to get these people to secede somehow. Look at the freedom. No more bullshit. Trump 2020. Don't you feel free? Look at this. A mob of Trump supporters entered the Senate chamber. Look at that shit. Now, what if that was Black Lives Matter? Okay? What would happen? That'd be one dead motherfucker sitting there. That's for sure. Or at least they would be carted off to jail. And this sucker. These people all need to go to jail. A protester yells inside the Senate chamber. Now look at this. A Trump supporter. This motherfucker needs to go to jail. If anybody recognizes him, there needs to be a warrant for this old cracker's arrest. He looks like a pedophile, too. A Trump supporter sits inside the office of Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. Because he's a son of a bitch who has absolutely no respect and could give a shit about the free America he pretends to love. Well, he can only pretend to love it because he lacks the emotional, spiritual, physical, mental, sexual maturity to function in a free democratic society. And thereby, would much prefer a white, of course, authoritarian daddy to save him and rule over him and save him from the scary world of others like brown and black people who don't know their place. And their place is naturally, of course, because he was born white. That was the greatest accomplishment. The best thing he ever did in his life was being born white. Other than that, it's been all downhill. He doesn't need to improve. Because who could fix perfect? Why mess with perfect when you're born white? Why have to improve yourself and learn about what it means, what America means? Why the founders rebelled against the aristocracy that had ruled Western civilization for thousands of years? What does that mean? Is that a conservative thing to do, or is that a progressive thing to do? So scratch your head. Is the United States a progressive initiative, or is it conservative to overthrow a king and an aristocracy that ruled civilization, Western civilization, for thousands of years? Somebody who's good at math needs to help me come up with that answer. Or is it a progressive? Is that called progress? Progress? Evolve? Or is it regress? Now, if this were 1776, who would the conservatives be fighting for? Would they be, is that a conservative thing? To stand up to a king and an aristocracy and say, hey, we don't need you. We can rule ourselves for the general welfare. Is that a conservative thing to do? Or a liberal thing? Does anybody know? He knows. He doesn't know, obviously. He thinks that America... What's America? America is red, white, and blue, bitches. These colors don't run. That's America. This is America. This is his dissertation. What? Dr. Douchebag, what is America? Well, here you go. I'm going to tell Nancy Pelosi what it is. Here it is. Get ready. It is... It's wearing a tri-cornered hat. Yes, white people wearing tri-cornered hats. That's right. White people. And black people knowing their place. That's what America is. And it is chapter 2. Here's my chapter 2. Red, white, and blue. What is America? What does America mean? What is the whole purpose? It is red, white, and blue. Red, like blood. These colors don't run. That's right. That means when we have a pandemic, we don't do anything. We just run. We go to the store with M16s. And we don't wear masks because, you know, these colors don't run against a pandemic. It's men pulling themselves up by their bootstraps and not showing COVID. And who cares? If you die, you're gonna die. Everybody's gonna die. You're gonna see Jesus. That's what it means to be an American. Chapter 3. What does it mean to be an American? It means government hands off my Social Security. That's it. Get your government hands off my Social Security. And your government hands off of my Medicare. Nobody's going to touch my Medicare. No, you government, you big government, touching my Medicare. Why am I talking like that? He sounds like a New Yorker. That's what it means. That's his patriotic dissertation. What does America mean to me? What is America? Well, I read a book once. It was called Triggered. And then I saw another one. I bought it. It was a gift. I gave Trump $5 and they sent it to me because they buy in bulk. And it was called Godless. Godless liberals. They don't understand. God created America. It's true. The founders, they fought a revolution against an intergenerational aristocracy and an entrenched religious authority that had kept working people down for thousands of years. They overthrew that whole system only to set one up here. The same system. Intergenerational aristocracy, religious oppression, intertwined in government to tell the people that they will toil in the fields and beg for a trickle, while if they're nice and they work hard and they don't complain and they pull themselves up by their bootstraps and be white, they will get rewards in heaven. The reward will come in heaven. Everybody will have a mansion in heaven. And then there's no racism. There's no everybody's equal. Then we have democracy. That's what it means. Then we have e pluribus unum. But here on earth, we're just going to recreate the exact system that the founders rebelled against because we are patriots. Makes sense if you're Trumpanzee. First, we'll have Daddy, the Daddy. God love him. Gotta love a Trump. He's a real businessman. That's what you get with a businessman. Not to mention he's never had a business that's successful, but whatever. Technicals. I don't know much about technicalities. Then we have Ivanka. Then we'll have Donald Jr. Then we'll have Eric. Then we'll have Tiffany. And then in 2055, we'll have, or whatever year, I don't know, I'll be dead. We will have Barron. And then we'll have Barron's offspring and Ivanka's offspring and all on and on forever and ever, amen, just like the founders wanted. They fought a revolution to install a family, the right family, to rule forever and ever and ever. That's why we're patriots. And I'm writing all this. I am writing this to Nancy Pelosi. Because she doesn't know. She thinks that counting the most votes. But she doesn't understand that, didn't she read? When black people vote, that's only 3/5 of a vote. My vote should be double. Because I'm white. Oh. Oh, God. And that's how they think. Yeah, prove me wrong. They don't know what it means to be an American. They're not patriots. That's why I do the show, too. It's like I was tired of listening to them falsely claim the mantle of patriotism. They haven't earned it. They don't deserve it. And they certainly don't understand what it is. They're confused. They are confused. They really are. They're confused by what this America thingy is all about. All right. Nobody called anyway, so I'm hanging up. I'm hanging up the phone. Good night. Good night, phone. Not that nobody calls. Nobody cares. Everybody hates the show. This is what goes on in my head now. I get insulted. I get harassed. It's all worth it, though. I know. I'm a complainer. Am I complaining? Stephen Lee, I want to thank you for your super chat, and I also want to thank you for our lovely conversation today. We had a nice chat on text. Let me see. Wait a minute. Who's even watching the show? Nobody cares. See what goes on in my head? Oh, good. Tara Jr.'s coming in. Come on, honey. Come on, baby. Get up here. Come on. Come on, honey. Good boy. Hello, everybody. Yeah. It's Tara Jr. Yeah. Tara Jr.'s back. All right. I got to get a theme for Tara Jr. And it should be that. Everybody. Yeah. Rock your body. He doesn't like that. I'm sorry. Oh, sit down. Everybody. Pet your Tara Jr. All right. Can I call you later off the air? No. Because I'll be asleep. J. Bond. Banana Republicans at it again. Yes. Haiku. All right, wait. I'm sorry. It's been one of those shows. Everybody. Yeah. Trying to open up this damn chat. No, it was interesting speaking with you today, Stephen. Listening to your story, or not listening, hearing it. And you reminded me about everything that we say here on the show. How Republicans are the enemies of America, how sad they are. If you don't mind, can I share a couple of things that you wrote? If you're still there in the chat, let me know. All right. Hold on. In the meantime, yeah, rock your body. Why am I singing tonight? Oh, hi, Shannon, on the Facebook chat. Nice to see you. What was I gonna fucking talk about? There's so many things to talk about. Okay, here. We got some. Because the other thing, these fuckers, earlier today when I was watching the Traitors go to work, when they work on this country, they work it over. Like a mobster who works over one of their streetwalkers who isn't performing up to par. They just beat the shit out of her. That's what they're doing. And so Steve Scalise, all of them. Where is Steve Scalise? Oh my God. And the thing that pissed me off too. Okay, well, let's play a little bit of it. No, wrong page. This fucking eCam is so annoying. All right, full screen, entire screen. That's why I ask you to become a patron. Will you please become a patron? Won't you be my patron? Please, won't you be my patron? Please, won't you be my patron? At patreon.com/Tara Devlin. Let's see. So here's Steve Scalise. I captured this video. I don't think you can hear that, can you? Son of a fuck. Everybody. I have to add this. Here, I'll show you. Let's see. Entire screen. Here's loop back. Let's add screen flow. And there it is. Let's do that. Let's see what happens.
There was a lot of back and forth. If anyone reads the founding documents of our country about the different versions they went through to ultimately come up with a process where each state has elections, each state has a process for selecting their electors and sending them to Washington. And Madam Speaker, in a number of those states, that constitutional process was not followed. And that's why we're here to object.
Bullshit.
If you look at what the requirement says.
First of all, he's full of shit, guys. Again, he's a liar. Oh, they sound so convincing to the dum-dums when they lie. But I guess they really have these assholes convinced. How many court battles? Over 60 cases they brought in different jurisdictions. So they have to really, we all have to believe in this this amazing, expansive conspiracy. And even Trump appointed secretaries of state, Republican secretaries of state. Well, they don't. This is the thing. This time, they weren't successful. But they're not going to stop trying. So until they finally destroy this pesky democracy once and for all. And they will do it all the while waving the flag and patting on their pocket constitutions.
Where in Article 2, Section 1 does it give the Secretary of State of a state that ability? Nowhere does it give the governor that ability. Nowhere does it give...
They're saying that we, the people, who elected Joe Biden, who went out, who stood on the lines in the cold and the snow and the rain and every condition without... regardless of whether we had to take a damn day off of work because we're the only effing country, besides being the only country that doesn't have health care or family leave or sick leave or vacation leave as a mandatory federal benefit, we also have an election day that's on a Tuesday, on a day that people have to work. In the middle of the workday. And then in all of these democratic areas, these filthy fascist freaks engage in voter suppression, as they have for time immemorial. So a place that has a 100,000 people have one voting place where there's no parking, or that you could take a bus that leaves you off a mile away. That's an actual thing. They did that. They moved in one particular county. They moved the polling place way out of the way to one location that there was no parking for miles, and the bus stop left you off a mile from the polling place. This is who they are. These fuckers.
Of a court, that ability, it exclusively gives that ability to the legislatures. And in fact, in most states, that's the process that was followed.
Does anybody know what the fuck he's talking about?
That this wasn't followed.
He's full of shit.
Unfortunately, this is not
Hey, what about states' rights?
We've seen over and over again more states where the Democrat Party has gone in and selectively gone around this process. That has to end, Madam Speaker. We have to follow.
Here's another thing. You heard it. The Democrat Party. Democrat. Fuck you, you bitch. Steve Scalise. That's why Republicans are irredeemable. And I call them Republicans. They are an irredeemable death cult. Steve Scalise, who was shot and saved by his lesbian Secret Service agent, he never, even though he had a near-death experience, that doesn't change him. And he got the best health care that our money can buy. Same health care denies others. He got his cushy, phony, baloney job, and he rushes back to his cushy, phony, baloney, fascist job to vote, ensure that to vote to take health care away from people. That's because they're sick. And I will never forget, one of these, when you have memories and sometimes they get burned into your brain. You know what memory is burned into my brain? Watching Steve Scalise in the White House Rose Garden. I know, it's a very sad memory to be burned into my brain. Looking at Twitler. He's standing behind Steve. Now, Twitler's in the front going, oh, great. And Steve Scalise is behind him like one of those monkeys with the cymbals. Cheering. They had a party. You know that? These are people, Steve Scalise, this prick, who almost died And even though he almost died, it didn't change him at all. He didn't see the light. Republicans only see the light when something affects them directly. But this time, he wanted everybody to be very rest assured that his near-death experience didn't change him. And then that's exactly what he said. Don't worry, I'm still the same old prick. I'm the same old selfish prick you elected. I'll do my duty and vote to ensure that the American people die without health care, unlike me. Because I got mine, and you got yours. So if they don't have theirs, well, fuck them. Because that's what e pluribus unum is. When you're a right-wing fascist ghoul who has no business being in the halls of power, who should, if this were a just society. A Steve Scalise? What would he be? He certainly wouldn't be a senator or a representative. He would be a used car salesman at best. No offense to used car salesmen, but he'd be one of the scummy ones who gave them a bad name. He would be a loser. But who votes for these people? These less vote-getting freaks. Representing a minority death cult who doesn't give a shit about anybody but themselves. They're not capable of functioning in a democracy. Have we caught on yet? I've been saying this for years. And then people are like, oh, yeah, you're just you. That's Tara. No, hello. I hate being right. I wish I was wrong. Even this tedious Democrat Party thing. But nobody corrects them. When you don't say anything about that, and then it goes on. What if somebody in my life just started calling me Terry? It's not even an insult, and I just don't correct them. Let them go around calling me but not my name. They're calling me Terry because they just can't be bothered to ask, or they don't really give a shit what my name is. Terry, T, Thomas, who gives a shit? Whatever your fucking name is. Whatever, you, this one. It's an insult. And the Democrats, they don't ever bring it up. They just let them say. Every time these fucking freaks, even in this instance, Nancy Pelosi was standing up there on the dais when this prick, Steve Scalise, who should have met his maker, maybe he could have come back after. Maybe he should have went into the light for a second and got his ass kicked by Jesus before he sent him back. Instead, he had a nice talking to with Satan, and he unleashed him back on the earth. One of his minions. But Nancy Pelosi should have does he have a gavel up there? Bang, bang, bang. Excuse me, it's Democratic Party. Democratic. Were you shot in the head? I thought you were just shot in your ass. And he was, so. But I guess your head's in your ass, so. It's democratic, because when you start there, it's the little insults, the disgraceful little insults that they all engage in. When you can't even be bothered, and you're doing it to be a divisive little bitch. When you can't even be bothered to call somebody by their name, which is why I call them Republicons now. Because fuck them. What's good for the goose, bitch? They don't deserve respect. I do it deliberately, so do they. But that now it's in the lexicon. Now people are like, Democrat Party. But when the Democrats don't even have the self-esteem to stop these tedious little bitches from engaging in their schoolyard antics. They've reduced the entire country to the entire political discourse is a schoolyard bully taunt meant to instigate and incite the schoolyard bullies. So have some self-esteem. How many times does somebody have to call you out of your name until you say, "Excuse me, fucker. My name is Tara." Is that too hard? Or say, in the case of the Democratic Party, "Excuse me, you little scumbag. Call me out of my name one more time and you will be censured." Or something. Do something. But don't say, "Oh, it's okay. They found their enmity and not their love." Recite some Yeats to them. I mean, how many times? If you don't have respect for you, then who will? And these fuckers can't be bothered to call anybody by their name. That's too much work. But they do this deliberately. It's an underhanded little insult that seeps into the entire body politic. It's like they all know about the broken windows theory, which is a bullshit theory. But yeah, if you let the broken windows in a community stay broken, then it starts with the windows, and then next thing you have people pickpockets and petty crime and drugs, and then next thing you know, there's murder. And they understand that, but they also understand this, meaning their incessant and constant propaganda and harping on bullshit to finally put the nail in the coffin of this pesky goddamn democracy once and for all. Democracy, schmocracy. They got theirs. They're doing fine. They got their cushy, phony, baloney jobs. They are invited to all the best wine cave parties. They could call David Koch and say, "Yes, ma'am and sir. Can I fillet you? Can I? It's fine. Whatever you got. Well, I'm all for you. I'm here for you." Fuck these people. Fuck the working class. They want to retire. They want health care. Fuck them. Watch this. I'm going to go out there and tell them it's not freedom. They're not free if everybody gets health care. Oh my God, I hate them. Why? To me, it seems so easy to see. That's why I can't stand this whole Democrat Party, and I can't stand the way that the Democrats allow it to go on and don't stop it. Now, if every time a fucking fascist said Democrat Party, they were like, "Excuse me, hey, bitch, it's democratic, you son of a bitch. Have some respect for the oldest continuous political party in world history, founded by Thomas Jefferson, you fucking traitor." How about that? That's all you got to do. Say it again. I dare you. Call me Democrat Party again. Do it. I dare you. But they don't know how to fight. All they know is they know this.
To tell you about
of Trump voters than they are about Mitch McConnell. There's a great line of poetry of W.B. Yeats, and it goes like this: "We'd fed the heart on fantasy, the heart grown brutal with the fair, more substance in our enmity than in our love." Basically, they
fed their enmity, more enmity in our enmity than our love. They fed the heart on fantasies and enmity and fantasies and in our love. God, somebody give me fucking 10 minutes with them. We fed our feds on our hearts and our enmities. More enmity in our hearts than in our love. What? Excuse me? He just said Democrat Party again. Why don't you say, here's something that we can all understand. Call me Democrat Party again, bitch. How about you take him when you see him in the Senate or wherever the fuck in your in the halls of power, say, hey, Stevie, call me Democrat Party again, bitch. Oh, yeah? No cameras here. Just me and you. Do it again. Do it again, traitor. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Stephanie, on the chat? Is that the real? Oh, my God. Stephanie just wrote, Rudy left a message on the wrong senator's phone? Yay. Wait. You got to put a link. We have to discuss this. Is that true? Left? I don't see it. On the wrong phone. Is that true? Put a link. Oh, wait. Here it is. Giuliani to senator. Just slow it down. Rudy Giuliani, a lawyer and top advisor. Oh, he's a top. I thought he was a bottom. To President Donald Trump is calling no offense to bottoms. I mean, he's a power bottom. Republican lawmakers urging them to delay the electoral vote count by at least 1 day to allow the president and his team to present more evidence. Well, how much more time do you want, you old cracker? Hopefully you're drop dead. Every day is a day closer to death, Rudy. At approximately 7 p.m., Giuliani called the newly sworn-in Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville a staunch Trump ally, imploring him to stall the process. I want to discuss with you how they're trying to rush this hearing and how we need you, our Republican friends, to try and just slow it down so we can get these legislatures to get more information to you because, you know, we haven't jerked this thing off enough. And not enough people are dead. And we only have 2 million vaccines out in people's arms rather than the 20 million we promised by today's date. Because we're a bunch of fucking frauds and liars. And we don't give a shit who dies. Clearly, today, you saw everybody storming the Capitol without masks. So that's another super spreader event, yet again. That's what Republicans do. Isn't it funny how when Republicans get their filthy, illegitimate grips around the neck of power, how the world breaks out in premature death? Ugh. But anyway, back to this. I want to discuss with you how they're trying to rush this hearing and how we need you. And I know they're convening at 8 tonight, reconvening, but the only strategy we can follow is to object to the numerous states because not enough people are dead, and raise issues so we get ourselves into tomorrow, because this fucking whole thing, we're at the final, we're in the 10-yard line trying to kill this democratic thing. We've been trying to kill it since 1776. We can finally destroy it once and for all. Hello, Ray. Where are you? Ray! Come here, honey. Ray. Oh, he doesn't listen. I hear him. Did you hear that? He's very cute. Ray, where are you? Where are my Ray? Where's my Ray? I can't see him. There's more. We fed our hearts on fantasy. More enmity in our enmity than our love with Ray. Where's Ray? Stop teasing me, Ray, with your cuteness. He's so cute. Did you hear him? I don't know if you could hear him. He walked in the room. Maybe if you play back the tape, you might be able to hear him. He walks in the room like a Ray, and he goes, meow. He's like, hey, I'm Ray. Where are you, though? I don't see you. Where did you go? He'll come out when I give him food. He's cute. I can't help it. It's the cute in him. All right, where are we? Giuliani tells Tuberville. Oh, wait, where is it? Where is me? And I know they're reconvening at 8 tonight, but the only strategy we can follow is to object to numerous states and raise issues so that we can get ourselves into tomorrow and ideally end this until the end of tomorrow. Meaning an end of America. Isn't that great? We can finally end this American experiment once and for all. For money. Yes.
And strike until you have victory. For every enemy that is aligned against you, let there be that we would strike the ground, for you will give us victory, God. I hear a sound of abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of shout.
That's the sound they hear. And strike, and strike.
And strike until you have victory. For every enemy that is aligned against you, let there be that we would strike the ground, for you will give us victory, God. I hear a sound of abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of shouting and singing. I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of an abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of an abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. The Lord says it is.
All right. I know McConnell is doing everything he can to rush it, which is kind of a kick in the head. Well, if only it was a real kick in the head. That's what you need. Because it's one thing to oppose us. It's another thing not to give us a fair opportunity, as if 60-plus court cases isn't fair enough and all the other. How about 3 recounts in Georgia? How many times we got to... Oh, God. That's why they need to go to jail. Okay? That's it. No more playing around with them. They need to go to jail. They need to strike and need to go to jail. They strike and strike
and
go to jail.
And strike until you have victory. For every
go
enemy
to
that
jail.
is aligned against you, let there.
Okay. Giuliani tells Tuberville that McConnell wants to narrow the objections to just 3 states and explains that the Trump team wants to object to 10. So if you could object to every state along with a congressman to get a hearing for every state, we know we could delay it a lot. Yeah. Yes. Is this fucking thing working? Okay. So, But if it would give us the opportunity to get the legislators who are very, very close to pulling their vote, particularly after what McConnell did today. Yeah, it has nothing to do with what the traitors and the rioters and the treasonous fuckers did today. No, it's just what McConnell did. The problem for Giuliani? He left his message on the voicemail of another senator. You're a dum-dum. That's your cybersecurity guru. That's what Republicans do. It's all a game. It's like back in the day, in the system that the founders rebelled against, that's what would happen. Oh, you could be a Duke of Lorraine, and you could be the Baron of Pinwickle, and that's how it went. It's all a bunch of bullshit. So now it's Giuliani. Oh, you could be cybersecurity chief. And we'll have the, over here, this guy. Well, Putin, he wants to partner with us to be cybersecurity gurus together. We could all work together in cybersecurity. So instead of him having to hack into all of our sensitive data, we could just give it to him. What the fuck? I mean, I like Putin. Can he be my best friend? We want to have I'm going to build the beautiful hotel in Moscow. Ray, get over here. Ray. He's out of my life. He's out of my life and into the other room. See, that's how it goes. I'm in love. I want to pick up my cat. I want a little affection. That's all they have to do. One job. They have one job. And it is to reduce my blood pressure. But what do? Not. They don't do it. They walk out of the room. And they do it in a cute manner, too. To twist the knife. All right. Giuliani tells Tuberville that McConnell... Where am I? Okay. It's not clear whether Giuliani, who opens the call by referring to himself as the president's lawyer... Hi, this is the president's lawyer. Sucker and succotash. I was directed to call Tuberville by the so-called president. Requests for comment to Giuliani's cell phone and the White House Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows, went unanswered. They're too busy conspiring to destroy American democracy. One longtime Trump advisor is still talking to top White House officials, says Trump is in constant communication with Giuliani. That's your dream team, everybody. Only the best people. Asked if such a call is something Trump would know about, he said, oh yeah, 100%. Giuliani, speaking at the rally for Trump earlier today, urged Trump supporters to keep fighting, promising that more evidence would soon come to light. Yeah, it's like waiting for Godot. It's sort of like waiting for the pandemic to magically disappear. Don't worry, it's coming. Oh, it's going to be the best you've never seen, like nobody's ever seen. Wait till you see this evidence. It's the biggest, the most incredible, the shiniest evidence that anyone has ever seen. You'd never known it. It's nobody, like no one's ever seen. It's the biggest election disaster fraud that anyone's ever seen in history. No one's ever seen. They haven't seen nothing like it because it's not true. But that doesn't matter. It's like Trump Network vitamins, or Trump University, or Trump steaks, or oh, God bless the cows in Trump steaks. That always gets me. It hurts to think about it. Having to give your life for human sustenance, and then you live your life. It's bad enough that they die in a factory farm, but then they got to be a Trump steak. How disgusting. This human condition, it really is vile to do that to another living creature, to turn it into a Trump steak. God. Wait, here's the...
Senator Tuberville, or I should say Coach Tuberville, this is Rudy Giuliani.
Coach! Wait. Where is it? This is great. What a douchebag. Senator Tuberville?
Or I should say Coach Tuberville, this is Rudy Giuliani, President's lawyer. I'm calling you because I want to discuss with you how they're trying to rush this hearing and how we need you, our Republican friends, to try to just slow it down so we can get these legislatures to get more information to you. And I know
whatever, who cares? He's a traitor. Another traitor. Yeah, yeah. Yes, yes, traitors. Yeah, yeah. Republican traitors. Backstreet trading. All right. All right. Thank you, JD, for your super chat. In pounds. You're making me jealous with your super chats in pounds because I feel for the old country. I want to go back to the old country, which is your country, but it's where I came from, where my relatives came from. My granny, my cousins are there. I know people. What the hell was she thinking? Granny? God damn it, Granny. Does anybody know a medium? I'm a large, but I mean a medium who could talk to the dead. I need to talk to my grandmother. Where's my granny? I want to talk to you. Granny, you better come and appear to me in the middle of the night. Bring a couple of other ghosts. Bring the ghost of the elections past and elections yet to come. And I want to know, Granny, what the and I will say fuck. What were you thinking? Huh? I thought you liked me. I was your granddaughter. I am your granddaughter. What are you talking about? Why did you drop me into this godforsaken hellhole of a country that had all the promises? But it had so many dum-dums running around. I get it, I know. At the time, they weren't in charge when you came here. You had FDR. How could you have known that we would have gone from FDR to a traitor, to a bunch of traitors? But you knew history. You read a book or two. Jesus Christ. I gotta get out of here. Granny. I want a 100-page... Well, I want 100... I was going to say 10-page paper on my desk by 9 a.m. explaining yourself. Or otherwise, I don't know. I need to know. What happens? Give me some hope here. Get me in there. Give me some clues. Is this gonna work out? Does the show ever get enough patrons to become a daily show at a set time? Or will I go deaf and not deaf, will I go hoarse? The opposite of deaf. Maybe you might go deaf listening to me, but will it ever change? Because does it matter? That's what I want to know. What, does it all matter? Are we making a difference? Honestly, when I watch these right-wingers rampage through the streets and the cops, let's see how many cops. Let's see the cops now. Let's see what's being reported. MAGA mob storms Capitol. Trump gushes to goons. Congress is back. Okay. How many arrests? Have there been more? Was the tear gas finally deployed? Why were they all able to hang out all over the steps of the Capitol? I want to know. Enough is enough here. It's right-wing privilege. Or will there be consequences? Are we just going to move forward? If Joe Biden goes on with, we're going to heal, move forward. After today, I was heartened to hear him use the word sedition, but he didn't go complete. He put the toe in the water. He said, it's bordering on sedition. It's fucking sedition. If this isn't sedition, what is? They know better. They know the election wasn't stolen. That's the bottom line. But they're liars. And they're activating a mob to ransack the Capitol. What is this? God. All right, guys. I think I'm going to go try to get Ray to reduce my blood pressure a couple of points. But. Should we have a show tomorrow? What do you think? I don't know. I think constant communication might be helpful. I do still I haven't been able to do any more videos during the day, but I want to start doing more just shorter videos. They probably won't be live, but like 5-10 minute videos during the day. They might discuss a current event that's happening and tease the show later at night, later. So yes. So, and Stephen Lee, I didn't get to some of your, if you don't mind, I would like to share some of your writing. What did you think? You got to tell me if that's okay, though. What we spoke about a little bit. Not every detail, not every secret. But just a little bit about your experience living amongst Trumpanzees. And everybody. All right, I don't know. I need help. So please. First of all, I want to say thank you, White Rabbit, for becoming a patron, for making that move, taking that leap, because I know there's a lot of shows that you could support, and I appreciate that you are supporting this show, and the same goes for Michael Isaacs and everybody else. We'll get to you. Oh, don't worry. These are just our new patrons for January so far. Become a patron, and you will, and basically there will be a show tomorrow. There's no getting around it. Otherwise, all right, guys. I will do a show. I need to. My name is Tara Devlin. Thank you so much for hanging out. God knows what'll happen tomorrow. We do need shows. That's the way it is. The more shows, the better. Otherwise, they win. We don't do a show, Republicans win. Every time I do a show, a Republican cries. Not that I care. I don't care if they cry. I just want them to shut up. Guys. My name is Tara Devlin. Thank you so much for hanging out. Hopefully, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Thank you for your support. Please become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. And join ROKFIN at ROKFIN.com. You can also not only have this show, you will be able to, you have access to exclusive content from the likes of Lee Camp and Jimmy Dore and Ron PLACONE and Graham Elwood, other liberal talkers, and me, me and my 6 listeners. Well, anyway, I'll try not to let it get me down. My name is Tara Devlin. Thank you so much for hanging out. We will win if we fight these fascist bastards. And fighting them, actually, this is part of how we fight them. With unapologetic liberal talk, on the right side of history, on the right side of decency, dignity, and democracy. That's why we will win. Because they have to pretend that they're like us. They have to pretend they like democracy. You see what I mean? Everything is an act to them. But we're here to pull their covers and push this country into a place that works for all. So another fascist bastards will never rise again, at least in 1,000 lifetimes. So, remember what I say. And tell your friends, we're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, and democracy. We will win. My name is Tara Devlin, and I will see you very soon.